Edge research techniques and tools in R to discuss how we can integrate R and Google Drive to facilitate collaborative research with those who may not be as tech savvy as those of you in the audience today, maybe some of these undergraduate ecology students. So I'm going to be sharing my research experience as a master's student on a project on coral reef conservation that was intended to last 1 year in one location. And it's now grown into a 5-year study working with collaborators from multiple government agencies, research institutes, and countries across 3 regions of the Caribbean. So our data management problems have grown greatly. And with that, we have some unique challenges. Some of those challenges that our collaborators vary in their knowledge of data management practices, in their R use, and their Git literacy. And another major challenge that we face is how do you maintain consistency in data entry when, for instance, you have over 100 undergraduates who you're working with over the course of 5 years, who may be anywhere from freshman biology students to seniors who may be comfortable working in Excel, but not many other interfaces. So that's where we turn to using Google Drive. And we use Google Drive because it is free, it is user-friendly, and it's really familiar with these students. Not everyone's comfortable making the commit to Git, not even my advisor, who's worked in the field for 2 decades. So I can't expect my undergraduates to feel okay with that. I can use Drive for version control, backing up my files and allowing my undergraduates to simultaneously edit these files. And Google Sheets has a lot of tools that we can use to save time cleaning data later on in R through upstream data management. So, for instance, you guys should all be familiar with data validation. I can, for instance, specify a list of how my undergraduates can enter in, say, 33 different coral species with their Latin names. Some of these students have never even seen a coral in their life. It's really unrealistic for me to expect that they spell Acropora cervicornis the same way every time they enter this. So I can also not only specify how they enter data, but where. I can say restrict certain metadata sheets so that they cannot access and edit those, whether it's intentionally or accidentally. I only want them to be able to edit the raw data files that they're entering things. And even within those data entry sheets, I can specify which columns they can actually access. Pretty much I'm trying to bulletproof or idiot-proof my data to make sure it's as user-friendly as possible for people. And it's really easy to integrate this Drive to our workflow using the Google Sheets package. I can easily read in sheets from a worksheet using this unique key identifier. You can extract specific spreadsheets from this. You can say, relate your metadata back to some other raw data files, work in tidy, etc., and then save this data frame back up to Google Sheets within that same interface without ever saving multiple, say, .csv files along the way. It's very easy to document this within the same platform using Google Docs if you want to. Sometimes this is more approachable for undergraduates to see a document like this, or a new master's student in the project. So I can specify how they should enter data and how they should work in this framework. Or, for instance, for one of my collaborators who's really sophisticated in data science and statistics, but does not know the biology background, I can use something like this, where I have scripts that link to my markdown files, descriptions, short descriptions of what they do. I can link to folders with the relevant data files, and I can also link to Google documents that specify how that data was collected in the field. Because how we collect this data in the first place is really important in informing what kind of statistical approaches are appropriate for analyzing this data. And you can still store your files on Git for R scripts. But this makes it so that the other project documents are accessible to those who are not comfortable with Git, and it's all within this same interface in Google Drive. So everything I'm telling you here today shouldn't be new. This is pretty obvious, but that's kind of the beauty of it. Data management can be really difficult, and it's especially difficult when you're working with collaborators who vary greatly in their data science literacy. Google Drive is free, it's familiar, and user-friendly. I'm sure there are middle school students who use Google Drive all the time. That's amazing, that's great. So we can use these tools in Google Sheets for upstream data management, and we can greatly open up how accessible data science is to people. Data science shouldn't be rocket science. And by doing this, we can greatly expand the community and the collaborative approaches we can take. by not just having people like you and me here,